Hi everybody, it's Gemma. Welcome back to Pampered Wolf. I have a completely bare face of makeup for a very, very good reason. Today we are going to be talking all things pillow talk. Actually, we're not. That's a lie. I don't know why I said that. I have bought absolutely everything in the Pillow Talk collection, and I'm going to be doing a rundown in a future video on what I recommend and what I don't recommend, what I like and what I don't like within the Pillow Talk collection from Charlotte Tilbury. Today we are going to be just concentrating on the brand new Pillow Talk Instant Eye Palette from Charlotte Tilbury. It is a glorious palette, but obviously these are the Pillow Talk shades, so it's not as versatile as the previous palette by her that I reviewed on this channel, which is the Starry Eyes to Hypnotize palette. If I show you exactly what I mean by that, if you have a look at the Starry Eyes to Hypnotize palette, you will see that there are loads of different color choices within that palette. It's really, really versatile. There's stuff for absolutely everybody. Browns, pinks, greens, silvers, blacks, absolutely everything in there. Whereas if you're wanting to go for the Pillow Talk palette, it is gorgeous, not taking anything away from this palette, but it is slightly more niche. So you've got your pinks, your browns, pretty much your neutrals within this palette. So if that sounds like something you want to go for, then this one will definitely be for you. The main difference with both of these palettes is the Starry Eyes to Hypnotize palette has a lot of shimmer shades, and it also has one of her pop shades in here as well. You only have 3 mattes in this palette, whereas the brand new Instant Eye palette in Pillow Talk actually has 8 intense mattes and only 4 metallic pearl finishes. So if you are not a big fan of the glittery finishes, then this one will definitely be more up your street. I have absolutely no makeup on my skin because I'm going to swatch these on my face. I watch Wayne Goss quite a lot. He's one of the YouTubers that I just think, especially in the UK, is absolutely amazing. And I used to swatch things on my arm, and he thinks you don't get a proper swatch on your arm because of all the hairs and everything. And he's completely right. So I'm going to do this on my face today. You can accuse me of stealing from his content if you like, but I think it's a great idea and I think it will benefit all of you, so I will take that on the chin. I'm just going to put my hair up and put a wash of concealer in the places that I'm going to put the swatches for you, and we'll get on with it. Okay, so excuse the shade of my face right now. I do look quite ghost-like because this is my concealer shade, not my foundation shade, but I just wanted a wash of something on my face so that these really did stick to my skin just like they would if I'd got an eyeshadow primer on. So let's go straight into swatching these. I'm going to go into the 3 that are labelled Day and go straight into this first one, which is a pale iridescent champagne-y gold colour with flecks of pink in here on the iridescent. So I'm going to pop this up here. It really is a beautiful shimmery gold, but as you move it round a little bit, there are flecks of pink in here. Just pop another little bit over there. Next shade in the Day collection is more of a browny pink. We'll pop that right next to it. The colour payoff with this shade is intense. It is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now we're going to go into the matte shade, which is next to it in the Day palette. These matte shades are so creamy. They are beautiful. They are super pigmented. You can see straight away from when I've swatched that it's gone on perfectly. And there's pretty much the same intensity of colour throughout the swatch, which means these are going to be absolutely beautiful to blend out and they are not going to go patchy. Next up are the 3 that are labelled Desk. So straight into the matte shade, which is more of a creamy brown, and we're going to pop this one here. Again, beautiful. The intensity of shade is very, very similar throughout. The pink that's next to it in the Desk collection, another matte. Wow, really beautiful, more of a corally shade, that one, and go into the one next to it. Oh, just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. You're going to be able to create so many different looks with these. So we're going to go straight into the range that is labeled Date. These get a little bit more intense as you go across the palette. So again, a little bit darker, very smooth, very buttery, just gorgeous. Just wipe my fingers and then go into the middle shade of Date. I'm hardly pressing into these palettes at all. And that one has gone a little bit more intense at the top. So that's the only one that's done that, but it may be because there is slight dampness left on my skin. I'll try and use that in the eye look a little bit later on to see if it does that on the eye. And then the darkest shade here. Oh, wow. That's going to look so nice as a smoky eye with this as the deepest colour. We're going to go into more of the pinky range now, and I'm going to put this on this cheek for you. That's swatched beautifully, really, really beautifully. Let's go into the middle shade here. These are so soft, so creamy. The metallics are just beautiful, beautiful shadows. Let's go into the matte that's next to it. This is a very intense pink. Not sure if this would be my favourite shade. I don't think I'd reach for this one all the time, but I like it. It's a beautiful, beautiful consistency. You really can't go wrong with these, but they do come at a price, as do all Charlotte Tilbury products, which is why I think it's really important that you watch as many reviews as possible to see whether this is actually going to be for you before you go and buy it. These are £60 in the UK, $75 in the US, and you get 7 grams worth of product, which it's not that much, is it? But I've used my palette of pops over and over again, and other than the mess that has been created within the palette, they don't look like they've been touched. These are going to last for a really, really long amount of time. You don't need to keep dipping and swirling your brush in these to pick up extra pigment. A small amount will do the entire eye. So let's get some of these on the eyelids. I'm going to go and take all this off my face and reapply my skincare, and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's get some of these on the eyes. The ones that I probably won't reach for all the time on a daily basis are these 3 shades here, because I'm not really into the pinky reddy shades on my eyes. I feel like it makes my eyes look a little bit bloodshot, but I will play around with these in another video. So straight away, I'm gonna get a flat brush. This is my Reaper 01 brush, I think. Yes, 01 brush. And I'm gonna take the darkest shade. We're gonna do a little bit of a smoky eye today. So I'm gonna take that darkest shade and I'm just gonna pat that on the lid. And by the way, I have set my eyelids in place so they are not tacky at all to the touch. These are going on really, really smoothly. So then I'm gonna take a fluffy brush, which is the Reaper 16 brush, and just fluff that out into the crease. Then I'm going to go into the lightest shade, which is in the Date Trio here, and I'm going to take that on a Reaper 15 brush, which is a really beautiful fluffy brush. Tap the excess off on there and just concentrate that in the crease and slightly above the crease. I am going to deepen the lid colour a little bit just to make that slightly more intense, but at the moment these are so easy to blend out. Really, really beautiful. You will have a lot of these shades in other palettes if you are a little bit of a palette freak like me, but having them all laid out in such a clear format is really, really helpful. So I'm going to go back into the darkest shade again and pad that on the lid just to intensify that right down at the lash line. And leave that like that. And then again, I'm going to take my Reaper 15 brush and go into the middle shade. Take a little bit of that, tap off the excess, and go into the crease, just to make a little bit more of a gradient look. I'm going to go back into the lightest shade in the Date Trio and just press on there. You don't need to go in with your brush and swirl all these around. If you swirl all these around within the palette, you are going to get a lot of fallout because these are so smooth and buttery, these shadows. If you just dig into them, they are going to fluff up. So there's really no need. Really nice. Then I'm going to take a fresh, clean, fluffy brush. This is by Morphe and it's the Morphe E23 brush. And I'm just going to make sure that we've got no harsh edges. I'm just going to go around that. So that is such a pretty look. We're going to finish underneath the lash line. And for that, I'm going to go into Desk here, into the lightest shade on my Reaper 13 brush. And I'm just going to drag that all the way across underneath the lash line. Then I'm going to deepen that up a little bit by going into the deepest shade within the Desk Trio. I'm just going to pop that on the outer corner. This is a really wearable palette, really pretty, thoroughly enjoying putting these on. Just very, very nice to work with. So let's do a completely different eye look on this eye. I do have a meeting at school at 5 o'clock this evening, so I am going to have to even myself out for that meeting. I am not going with two different eye looks this time. So I'm just going to go in the crease with the lightest shade in the Desk Trio and just make this really subtle. This is going to be a daytime look, so it's going to be subtle, but it's also going to have a little bit of sparkle using one of the pearlescent metallics. Okay, I'm going to deepen the outer edge with the third shade in the Day Trio. Really, again, really pretty. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of pinks in a palette. Really loved the Huda Beauty Neutrals palette, but it was very, very pink. So I'm really pleased that Charlotte has added a lot of browns in this palette, that it's not just pinky neutrals. There are also some terracottas in here, some oranges in here, just a lot of warm shades as well as cool shades, which is really lovely to see. I'm in love with this pink shade. This pink shade is just singing to me. So pretty. Now I want to use more of that now. Let's go in and put a little bit more. I wasn't planning on using a lot of this, but it is so nice. Let's just go in and do a little bit more. These are so easy to blend. Really pretty. Let's go in with a shimmer. So I'm actually going to go into the middle shade within the Day Trio all over the lid, and then we're going to use the first shade as a little bit more of a highlight of the inner corner on both eyes. Oh, so pretty. But how gorgeous is that? It's not overly pink. There is a subtle of copper in there as well, which I love. So then we're going to go into the palest shade with my Reaper 03 brush, which is a really precise, tiny little brush. And I'm just going to go right, highlight that inner corner. But just on this eye, I'm going to bring that highlight slightly further up, just on the extra lid space, just to join that together. Just gonna pop a little bit of highlight on the other eye using the same shade. And then let's do underneath the lash line on this side. So I'm just gonna keep it really, really clean and neutral and just use this shade here, which is the first one in Desk, which we used as the transition shade. And I'm just gonna spread that underneath the eye. So that's both eye looks completed. I've finished off this look using a coal black liner on the top and the lower waterline, and both eyes have a lick of the Charlotte Tilbury Full Fat Lashes mascara on. I've tried to keep this one as subtle and as simple as possible, and then added a little bit more drama on this side for a completely different look. I really, really hope you've enjoyed this video. I've loved working with these shadows. They are smooth, they are creamy, they are easily blendable, beginner friendly, super, super pigmented. My one, I wouldn't say it's annoyance, but my one disappointment with this palette is I would have preferred that there was at least one pop shade in here, one glittery shade, just to add a wash of glitter all over the lid. This is really, really wearable on a daily basis, but it's just missing that one little thing. Now that will please a lot of people because there are so many mattes in here to work with. So if you do have crepey eyelids, if you're of a certain age where you find it difficult to wear shimmers or pearlescent shades, then this will be absolutely fantastic for you. But I'm just missing that little pop of glitter in here, which I just feel like she could have added one. Just one. Take one of the pearlescent metallics out by all means and just add one of the pops because I just think they're absolutely beautiful. And now you've either got to have two palettes or you've got to buy it separately, and it just makes it very, very expensive. So just a little bit disappointing it's not included in this palette. Anyway, I really, really hope that you have enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed making it for you. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There is a watermark in this corner. If you click on it, it will take you through to my homepage where you can subscribe. I upload on Mondays and Thursdays at 8 PM London time, and I'm also on Instagram. If you want to follow me on there, it's @PamperedWolf, all lowercase, no spaces. Just realised that I've not got my rings on. Don't worry, everybody. Don't start asking me questions about, are you and Wes okay? You're not wearing your wedding ring? I'm not wearing any of my rings. They are all downstairs in cleansing solution, so I'm just washing them all. We are fine, don't worry. Anyway, hope to see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.